If you're watching this video, you got to know that you have said yes to the call. You've been called and you've said yes. There's something really important that you are here to offer the world. Honor that, prioritize that, listen to that. Let that love that's coming through you support you in thriving. The first thing that you need to do in order to master high-end sales is to know, like in a physical, bodily way, that anyone can pay. Anyone. This is your money mindset. If you go into a sales conversation with a condition that you think only certain people can afford your product or services, you are shooting yourself in the foot. You're literally cutting yourself in half. Like, you won't show up in excellence in that call. And we can talk philosophy, like, how do you know that anyone can pay? That's a legitimate question. For now, what I will say is that you just need to know that anyone with urgency can pay. When people want something, they find a way. And if they don't find a way, they don't want it. Enough. And that's fine. Not everybody needs to want what you've got. But the people who want it, the money is there, and it's there right now, whether they see it or not. Doesn't mean it's in their bank account. It might be. But literally 100% of the people that I have worked with, 100% of the people that have hired me have paid me. And I work with people who are stereotypically broke. Like people who have been sleeping on the floors of monasteries, delivering and distributing books, and literally not touching money. They have nothing in their savings. They have no credit to speak of. How do they hire me? How do they find the money to do it? Because I know it's there. That's first. Because I know they can do it. And they feel what it feels like to even just taste my knowing that they can do it. And then they start to see new possibilities. Because now they're like, oh, maybe she's right. What would that mean? If I could do it, where would the money be? And then they have answers to that question. If they don't want to do the work, there's no reason for them to look for the money. But that's not because they can't. Particularly if what you are selling at a high level has anything to do with empowerment, anything to do with personal transformation, anything to do with people knowing who they are and expressing themselves fully. If you don't reflect to them that you believe they can do it, you are treating them like a victim, and that is out of integrity with the work that you do. You are disempowering them when you tell a story in your mind that they can't pay, that they can't afford you. Fuck that shit. The second thing that you need to do in order to master high-end sales is to stop thinking about yourself. This is underneath the umbrella of the principle that sales is service. And so it's kind of impossible to sell anything well at all price points, but for sure at a high price point. If you're busy feeling insecure, trying to get people to like you, get them to do what you want so that you can feel good, so that you can get the money, so that you can feel like you're winning. Like you really, it's a strange challenge. It's a kind of yoga, you know, when you're in a sales conversation, because of course you are selling your products and services. And again, if you are the center of your product or service, you're selling yourself, and it's incredibly vulnerable and incredibly personal. So that's real. And when you're in the sales conversation, it is not about you. And when you raise your prices to a high caliber and you're selling $10,000 and more, you have to be really squeaky clean about the quality of your attention, focused on the person in front of you. And so the most joyful hack that I have for this is really letting God hold all my vision, all my desires. Like while I'm in a sales conversation, I'm not thinking about that stuff. Is it real? Yeah. Girl wants to get paid. Of course. But while I'm talking to the one person in front of me, it's all about them. And I free them completely. They don't owe me anything. They don't owe me anything. They don't even owe me their time. I mean, let's really be honest here. This is for them, giving it to themselves. And I'm there to help them do what? I'm there to help them get clear about what's next for them. And if what's next for them includes hiring me, it's my job to sell them. And if what's next for them does not include hiring me, it is my job to let them go. And I can only know the truth of that if I'm paying close attention to them. And I can only follow through on the truth of that if I am truly in service to them and not worried about myself. So this is why meditating before sales calls is a useful thing. You gotta replenish your stores so that you show up with the most generous, unconditional attention that you are capable of. And anyone that's heard me teach the flashlight metaphor, this is what I'm talking about. So the flashlight metaphor is a physical metaphor for your attention. And the idea is that you just keep it focused on the person in front of you. And it's also normal when the flashlight gets turned on yourself. The reality of what happens in those moments is that you get blinded. You can't see them. You can't see the person that you're talking to when you get your flashlight turned on yourself. So resist the temptation. Use your own experience of getting triggered, of feeling insecure or feeling rejected or feeling also like ego stroked. Like sometimes you can get triggered in a way that feels good, but is equally dysfunctional. It's not, I'm telling you right now, it is not about you. They don't care about you. They do not care. That is not what they're there for. That's the second piece. Keep your attention focused on serving the person you're with unconditionally. When it comes to implementing these two principles and going deeper into the nitty-gritty, the details of your sales conversations, that's really where coaching comes in. That's where supervision comes in. That's where mentorship comes in. So we put out tons of training and resources on this subject. Please geek out. They're all useful. And if you liked what we're talking about today, you're going to really like the other stuff. And if you really want someone's expert eyes on this, then reach out to my team and let's talk about how I can support you with your sales process.
Everything you want is already